Hello again, friends. Welcome back to your halftime show with me, the Martin Lambert. And the news of the YouTube name there. Welcome back. So Town exit the first half 1-0 down following a dubious goal. It probably is safe to say. Thank you very much for my cup of coffee, darling. Coffee service as well. What can we say? Let's welcome back the Cruncher, Richard Moss. How are we doing, Richard, after that first half?
Yeah, I thought we showed some good signs going forward, but at the back, woeful. Absolutely. We could have been 3 or 4 down, couldn't we, really?
Yeah, at the back, 6 and 7, certainly. Times where not being sure of yourself. There was an instance in the first half, ball over the top. Holy, obviously, I think, called for it because the reaction afterwards of Holy talking to Chambers suggests it, but Chambers didn't leave it. He headed it, and they had a good shot on target, really, didn't they, from that effort?
Should have scored. Alice
they should have done.
There.
But those two players should not, at this point, after a whole year together, still have that communication error.
There was a couple of times, weren't there, in that first half communication? That's a ball there. Your goalie's got to take charge. Either he's not shouted, but you think he has, and Chambers has headed it into an area where you think, listen, this is an experienced player there. We got away with it. We got away with it lightly. It should have been in the net. And Chambers, him and Enciala, they are a car crash waiting to happen, them two playing together. I hope they never play together this season because not very good. Going forward, I thought we've done well.
I actually thought Enciala played well in that first half. I was quite impressed with Toto. He looked strong, assured at times. I think I'm not going to say it. I'll let our viewers have their say.
Exactly, Jordan. Chambers all over the shop.
Bradley Hembrew played well there, but West Ham don't look great. They don't. Now, going forwards, talk to me, Rich, because I think we're lacking someone like a Daryl Murphy. That presence in the 18-yard box. There's been a few decent balls in.
Drinnan's...
Look who it is.
Oh, look, where are you, Matt? Are you overlooking the Royal Albert Hall?
That's not what you call it.
Look, Drinnan showed for me he's very inexperienced.
He's too raw.
He's had a few nice touches, but too far away from the goal. There was a great opportunity there. I think when Teddy Bishop burst in from the left, played a nice ball across, and he's got to be in there in that 6-yard box, and he wasn't there. You know, and I agree with you there, Kempy Blue. Need a striker on the pitch. We said it before though, Martin. You know, we've got no Hawkins, no Jackson, no Norwood. Without them, I'd say we're toothless, aren't we? Very, very toothless.
We are, and that worries me because we're 2 weeks away from the start of the season. Jackson's got a 90 under his belt. Norwood's got 0 minutes under his belt so far. Obviously, there may well be, and there probably is behind closed doors, inter-squad 11v11s, but that's not going to be a high enough tempo for me. I'm not a fan. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to say it nice and early. This 4-2-3-1 formation, it lacks pace. Our wingers are playing wide, which means our central striker is isolated. They're not playing close enough to him. To do a 4-2-3-1 properly, for me, you've got to have your wingers slightly tucked with 2 fullbacks on the overlap. Now, obviously, Vincent Young's not playing. He would offer that. But Drinnan, raw or not, he looked isolated. Nobody apart from Bish is around him.
It's sometimes it's a 1 up front, isn't it? And 5 in midfield.
It is, yeah.
You know, but you've got to get close. Yeah, but definitely, I agree. Someone, if you've got him up front or whoever you're going to play, them 2 wide players. Yes, Steve Chambers, hands across the face. The 2 wide players have got to support him. They've got to get closer to him. And we can say Drinnan is a young, raw striker, but he does need help. And I do agree with you, an experienced striker up there, someone like Murphy, you know, he could hold the ball. But I'll say it again, this team, you've got, if we went into the season with no Norwood and no Jackson, where are the goals coming from? You know, I can't see. I think Freddie's done all right on the left. You know, he's done all right up and down there. You know what you're getting when he plays out there.
Yeah. Freddie, for me, though, is somebody, again, he's a striker come winger. So tuck him in a bit. Have him closer to your front player to influence something.
He's not a striker, though, now, is he? He's more of a wide midfielder.
Well, then he might struggle for game time next year. Thought Nords was playing a part today. No, Kempy, he's not. Joe, not a bad first half. Chambers a bit concerning. Want to see how Hawkins will do in the game. I am itching to see Hawkins, but I don't think he's going to be the presence I'm asking for. Now, what I'm saying here is Daryl Murphy. I'm probably looking back at this with a bit misty-eyed because of what he was. But when he played and the ball was coming into the 18-yard box, you always had that sense of anticipation that he would make something happen or he would make it happen himself. We don't have that. Even with, I would argue, with Jackson on the pitch, we don't have that.
It's the know-how, isn't it? It's the know-how, isn't it? Daryl Murphy, he knows what he's doing. You know, he knew where to go. He knew probably where the ball's going to come. Where a little bit we're a bit on our heels when we should be in there. Like I say, when the Bishop down the left-hand side there, you've got that striker's got to anticipate where that ball's going to go, and he's not, is he really? But I thought we've done all right. The midfield three, I've really liked them.
That's
Flynn
what I'm
Downs.
to. What do you think?
Flynn Downs is the goat, isn't he? You've said it before. You know, he's another player. He's too good
he's
for
too
our
big for
first
us.
team.
He's too.
He
big
is.
For
I
us.
agree. If we keep hold of him, we've done really well. You know, going into the season because.
Such an intelligent player.
I've liked Teddy. Teddy's got forward. I think Dazell's had a decent half. He's got stuck in a bit more as well.
Quiet again. Quiet for me. Your Bishop's been lively. He's had a few opportunities. He's made things happen. He's been the Bishop that we all remember and we want to see more of. Now, sadly for Bish, just around the corner is always normally an injury. Now, I hope and pray to God that does not happen this time because this is the Bishop we need. On the ball, trickery, pass the player, make things happen. Downs is the GOAT. So intelligent because there's an instance in that first half where he looked one way, stopped, checked, looked the other, stopped, checked, and then went backwards. So assured, so great and graceful in that midfield. We don't have Dozell. Bit quiet on the other hand. I'll bring Frankie from Claret TV in. Frankie, how did you make of that first half, my man?
I thought it was pretty even Stevens, chaps. I thought you done well. I thought
you
had some right positive spells. I thought we were there to be got at, and I thought at times it looked quite even. I don't know if you've mentioned it yet, but obviously the goal that we scored, my initial reaction was it was out of play. I really did think the ball was gone.
I did as well, yeah.
So after the replay, did you still think the same, or do you think it was...
I did, but I was more concerned with some of our players defending, if I'm honest. We had one player who was the wrong side for a start. You've got to get the other side and defend your goal. But it's one of those things. It's a friendly... The result isn't always important. It's the manner. And obviously, we've got Moyes with us today, despite you boys playing at Wickham as well. Can we read anything into that in regards to Flynn Downs or players he's looking at for you guys? What do you make of it as a West Ham fan?
Well, I think it makes sense that he's there because this squad is the one that I think is the one that players have got to prove themselves. So it does make sense that he's having a look over them to see if there's anyone who he think can, fight their way into the first team. But we've had it on, we're doing our show at the moment and doing a live watch along. And there's a few fans that have said it does seem like it's a bit of a scouting mission. So maybe there is something behind that and we know Moyes is pretty much our scout. He went to the Charlton game and was scouting down at Charlton. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know, that you'd seem to have Grady Diangana in sussed out a little bit. You sort of was bullying him and not giving him a little... He looked lively, but every time he got close to one of your defenders, you was up him, you sort of wouldn't let him turn on the ball. And I felt you was dealing with him really well. And then all of a sudden, that one moment, his strength seemed to, outdo the other guy. And then he skips round and he did what he did. Whether or not it was in or not, even the replay didn't really tell. But my initial reaction was it wasn't. I think the biggest positive I've taken out of that is that Alai's our centre half. He's spraying balls around 40-yard passes, and that ball he done to Haller through the middle was unbelievable. I thought Haller should have put that away. In fact, I think Haller had a couple of chances where he should have scored. So for a £40 million striker in those positions, mate, he's got to be putting them in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, watching Ipswich, anybody stood out for you where you think, he's not a bad little player, he could do a job?
I thought Bishop looked lively. He had that one chance, though, where I felt he was on the edge of the box and he sort of snatched it a little bit and it was over the bar. I felt he needed to be a bit more composed there. And, it's nothing wrong with having a shot like that. I think he was right. But what he had to do was just make the keeper work. you know, those ones there, just at least get it on target. That's all you want him to do. So, but Bishop looked an interesting player to me. I haven't seen much of your left winger who I thought was going to cause us problems.
He's playing on the right, but it's the same story all day long. You know, they could play left and right, they can interchange, but Edwards, Rich, he's not really got where he went off. Obviously, we're not sure if it's an injury or not, but he didn't really get in the game, did he?
He runs around a lot, but there's no end product, is there, with him, really? I was a bit disappointed that he didn't. He played well on the left-hand side against Colchester, and now he's back on the right, you know. But then if you play Freddie likes to play him on the left, sort of cutting in on his right foot. But I was a bit surprised he took him off. I don't know if there was a knock there. Hopefully El Mazzuni might show something second half, but I think, like you say, he was a bit weak for the goal, and the ball was definitely out, wasn't it? It looked like it had gone.
I believe so.
It looked like it to me.
It did. It really did. So second half coming up. What do you want to see more of, Rich? Do you want to see more of El Mazzani, more of Drinan, or obviously we don't know if anyone's made a change yet? But
I don't really think we got any other strikers. You could maybe play Freddie centrally. I want to see more of Flynn. I want to see Teddy get on the ball, drive forward. I agree with you. He got in a really good position there at the edge of the box. You've got to work the goalie there, you know, especially against a Premier League team. You're not going to have many chances, and it was a good chance. He snatched it. It went over the bar. I want to see us tighten up a little bit at the back because Haller, really, if he'd have had his shooting boots on, he should have had 3 already.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Frankie, what do you want to see from your half? Your team?
We're flying down at Wickham. We're winning 4-1 down there.
Yeah, you are. You're hammering them.
I've got the short straw here. I'm watching this game, which I think should have been 0-0, really. I think would have been a fair reflection. And Baz is watching the Wickham game and he's all excited every 5 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think we're playing Connor Coventry at right back. He's not a right back. He's a central midfielder. So, and Yarmolenko, as I said, doesn't track back. So I think there's massive opportunity to exploit that left hand, down your left, but down our right. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the problem. And I think a couple of times you have got down there, you've had a bit of success. So you need to work that out, really, and it might be the key to unlocking ourselves and getting a goal. Yeah. But I think you've played great through the middle, and you played some good stuff. You've looked pretty solid at the back, other than the one relapse. But I just think
we got nothing up front.
No central.
There's nothing
threat.
up front.
No,
we ain't got nothing.
No
we ain't got nothing up front. We ain't going to score, are we? We're not going to score this afternoon. I can't see. Maybe a long shot. Like Downs had a good effort from the edge of the box, but Drinan, he's off the pace, Martin. I've said for you, he won't play a competitive minute for Ipswich. I'll be very, very, very surprised unless you got injuries. Yeah,
I completely agree. I want to see Ndaba come on at some point and see if we can get another 45, half an hour out of Corey Ndaba and see how he performed against what you would think is, equal position to Tottenham. I want to see Falami at some point, because we've seen Drinan. Falami's been in and around, obviously, previous 18-man squads. He's the only other striker on the bench. Let's see what he can do. But outside of that, more of the same, really. And we are back. We'll be back after the game, full time for your final thoughts. So join us then. But yeah, we'll hand it back over to Brenner and Co.